Welcome to Vendée Live. It is Thursday, the 19th of December, and we have been racing for 39 days in the Vendée Globe. Here in Les Sables d'Olonne, it is dry, but it is super windy, but it's not like the winds of the Southern Ocean. In the news today, in the Southern Ocean where our fleet are, Paul Mayat has had water ingress into his boat, and it's in the worst place possible. It's on top of the electronics and even into his bed, but he's found a way to solve the problem. But in the depths of the Southern Ocean, that is not what he wanted. Louis Duc has managed a rudder bar repair, and Tanguy Le Turquet has also done a longitudinal repair inside his boat with success. Many of the skippers are celebrating Cape Lewin, but Koji was more concerned about passing the longitude of Japan. But the celebrations were in full force as many of our skippers passed Cape Lewin.
On vient de passer Cap Lewin! Le Cap Lewin avec la Micaline!
Cap Lewin, les amis, on est en train de le passer là à l'instant. Ben voilà, 2 sur 3.
On vient de passer le Cap Lewin. Ça y est. On vient de passer le Cap Lewin, mais quelle nuit!
Hop! Voilà! Du foie gras de mon papa. D'ailleurs, c'était son anniversaire il y a 2 jours à papa. Bon anniversaire, papa!
La petite tradition maintenant. On va pour Neptune, hein. Hop là, pour le bateau. Puis un petit peu pour moi. Ah, il se bonifie, lui.
Merci Nadia. Merci Nadia de nous avoir.
Well, the good news is I've got somebody here with me in the studio, and I'm delighted to welcome Alexia Barrier, a 2020 Vendée Globe skipper, and also now the skipper of the famous project. Alexia, thank you for joining me.
Elodie, I'm so happy to be here.
Good. Now, I want to ask you just one question. Is it true your Vendée Globe, 111 days, and you never once featured on Vendée Live?
Ah, yeah, that's true. I don't know why they don't like me now. I'm joking. They just were too busy. But now, you know, I'm here with you, and it's
I know, it's
cool.
perfect. Yeah. And Alexia did the French show and has joined me for the English show, so I'm very grateful for that. Do you remember celebrating the Great Capes as you did your race?
Yeah, it was always a great moment because it's super important when you pass a cape. And Cape Lewin, I think I was with my Captain Planet Muppet and celebrating with champagne. Yeah, and then you are happy, but you don't really know when it's your first time what will happen after. So
yeah, the unknown.
Cannot be overexcited.
That's right. But following this race, and you know, it's been quite an exciting race to date. Has it brought back a lot of memories from 2020 for you?
Yeah, especially as they enter the Indian Ocean, because I know that it's a tough part of the Vendée Globe. So I look more than the race or the position or the speed. I look at the face of the people on the videos, the comments, and I'm feeling like more empathic for them than everything else. And really, I want everyone to be safe and happy, even if I know it's super difficult.
And if we go back to the finish of your race, you know, as much as you were celebrating, it was quite a different story in your position, wasn't it?
Yes, at the finish of the race, I had an injury on my back 10 days before the finish. I broke my back, and I nearly had an helicopter coming to take me out of the boat. But I really didn't want to quit at this point, quit the race after 100 days at sea. It was not acceptable for me, so I did carry on. I was not able to walk anymore. It was really, really special. And so when I did pass the finish line, I was a little bit disabled, but so relieved and proud for my sponsor, my family, my team, and all the people who did support me for not only for the Vendée Globe, but for all my life, finally.
Yeah, God, that must have been super hard to manage, the excitement, but the incapacity of actually walking around. Well, somebody that we've both sailed with is Samantha Davies, and we can see on the position here where she is, just south of New Zealand. She's sadly and more frustratingly fallen into that high pressure off the back of the front that she was chasing down. But I'm really pleased to say that we can catch up with her. Sam, is it smiles on board Initiative Kerr?
Yeah, I do. Despite the fact that I'm going upwind in the Southern Ocean, that was not in the brochure. Yeah, it's smiles on board, and for sure it was really frustrating to miss the train, so to speak. But actually, in my routing, I was pretty well. I didn't really think I would ever manage to stay with it. So I actually started kind of on the wrong side of it right from the start. So it wasn't a horrible surprise, but it's a bit frustrating, especially seeing how many miles that we lost by not catching it. But the race is still a long way. We're only halfway through, and there's going to be plenty of opportunities to come back. Not in the immediate future, but in the Atlantic for sure. And so still smiles and still just giving it everything I can to keep the boat fast and sail the right way, and try and be ready to catch up when opportunities arise.
Upwind in the Southern Ocean, Sam. That's crazy. Who would ever think of sailing upwind, eh? I've got Alexia in the studio with me.
I did have a little think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought about calling you, Dee, to tip. Seeing as you're one of the crazy people that did choose to go upwind around the Southern Ocean. You're completely mad. Luckily, this is only a little two-day adventure. But yeah, for sure, it's not great. But in a way, in these IMOCAs, when you're going upwind, it's probably the moment where you can actually get more rest. It's a bit less stressful, but it's not very comfortable. And for sure, in the Southern Ocean, it's freezing cold. So I'll be happy when we get, and we're going right through the middle of a low as well, which is even nicer. But when I get out the other side tomorrow, I'll be pretty happy.
Hello, Sam. C'est Alexia. It's Alexia here. I'm really happy to be able to talk to you today.
Hi, Alexia.
Remembering the last one when you finally catch me up after having to stop, and you were the only person I was able to have close to me. So I look at your position every day, and you can be really proud of you. I think, yeah, you know well this game, and everything can happen during the Vendée Globe, even being upwind in the Pacific. So, yeah, just carry on. You are really an inspiration, and you are doing a really good job.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It's so cool to see you, to talk to you, and for sure, it's. I'm a lot happier this year than when we sailed together 4 years ago. I was so happy to find you at the time because I was having a really hard time getting sailing my boat back to France a long way, and but not in the race. It was really different and really hard. And this year, I'm really happy to be actually in the race, and for sure there's ups and downs, but it's completely different this year, and I'm so happy to be here and to be able to keep pushing my boat, which is totally different from 4 years ago. But yeah, 4 years ago it was great to have a friend in the Southern Ocean, and I really enjoyed our time sailing together next to each other.
Sam, we've seen you've had a few issues and you've done a few sail repairs. So a couple of questions for you. Have you got Sikaflex all over your hands still? And have you managed to sort your power issues out for your blackouts?
For sure. I think everyone's having issues. So it's no different from anyone else. But it's the first time that I've ever had electricity problems, and that's pretty. It's pretty stressful when your boat just completely switches off and goes full blackout. Especially these boats that are powerful, and there's no way you can keep them going in a straight line if there's no. For me, it's a new issue to have to deal with, and it's especially out here in the Southern Ocean, in the big sea state and everything. It's not really ideal, and for sure I lost quite a lot of time, and maybe missed the front because of that as well. And but that's life. It's not completely solved, but little by little, we're trying to figure out why it's happening, and try and avoid it as much as possible. So I've been working quite hard, and my shore team has been working really hard as well. Thanks to them for all the help, and all the people outside of that who've been helping try and find solutions for me. It's a little bit frustrating, but I'm getting better at electricity and wiring and cabling, and managing blackouts and wipeouts and all the consequences in the Southern Ocean. Possibly that's why I had a hole in one of my sails, because obviously I've done quite a few different figures, different styles of wipeout in the last few weeks, in the last few days, and some of them are more spectacular than others. So maybe that's why the sail got damaged, probably. So yeah, that was a bit frustrating. And the other sail, it wasn't damaged, but the sail's actually got a weak point identified in it, and so I chose to reinforce it. It's my J0, which is a pretty important sail for all the time, and especially for going back up the Atlantic and even downwind here in the Southern Ocean. So I took the opportunity of a calm day yesterday to unfurl it on the deck and do some reinforcement work. And then just yesterday evening I found a hole in the other sail, and luckily all the equipment for repairing sails was still out. I just washed my hands, but so I had to get the gear back out and do a bit of a rush repair before the wind came in. But yeah, that's thanks again to the shore team who's given me a pretty good protocol sheet of how to do that, and so I've been following their instructions. But yeah, I'm not really very proud of my Sikaflex job. I was wearing gloves, but even wearing gloves, you still seem to get Sikaflex everywhere. So yeah, that was a bit messy, but hopefully it was a successful operation on both sails. But yeah, really tiring, because obviously the sails are heavy, and having to drop them unfurled is quite stressful as well, and then manipulate them around to have them in the right place on the deck to be able to repair the sail, and then re-furl them or rehoist them, and so there was a lot of physical work. I felt like I spent the whole day yesterday in the gym, and got some nice aches and pains today after all the work from yesterday. But it was a good day, a successful day, and I guess that's the silver lining to my cloud of being slowed down, was having that calm day yesterday to do all these repairs and deal with the issues.
Well, it definitely sounds like you're getting on top of things, Sam, and it's really nice to see you so positive, and always lovely to talk to you. So we're sending you lots of love. Sail safe, sail fast. We'll talk to you soon, and stay warm, because I know you don't have a heater now, so do the best you can to stay warm. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, thanks. So that was the only thing I didn't manage to fix, was my heater. So but I've managed to survive the Southern Ocean without a heater before, so that will be no different. I got lots of cups of tea lined up for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, glad to hear that. Good news. Thank you, Sam. Great to speak to you.
Thank you.
It's always nice to talk to Sam. She's so positive, isn't she? And she was really chatty.
Yes, unbelievable. We know everything about the sail repair, and it's super cool that she takes time with the boat slamming.
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult to manage to talk and even smile when it's like that. So yeah, it was
Exactly.
amazing.
Well, someone else that we know very well who's having a remarkable race and is like, she's been nicknamed the metronome by Jan Elias when he joined us on the show, and that's Justine Metro on Teamwork Team Snef. She's there in position 11th place. She's chasing on the edge of that pack that's chasing the leaders. She managed to stay on the front, having remarkable mileage. And I checked in with her this morning just to see how she was feeling and if everything was all right after the hard conditions.
Yeah, I think it's the worst conditions. I've sailed with an IMOCA. You know, it's angles and wind speed. You don't really know how to deal with spoilers, and we kind of had no choice but to do it. So yeah, it was not really nice. It was not easy to find a good setup to ballast to windward, and kind of nearly no foil and no keel, no rake, just to like trying to keep the boat not going too crazy and not smashing the waves too hard.
You're halfway around the world. How are you feeling yourself?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm just a bit. For the moment, I just really hope I keep winding formation for the rest of the race, because it's really helpful. As I was saying, I have another wand I can put at the top of the rig, a spare one as well, but that is not probably be possible to happen before the horn and not after.
You're getting regular messages of support from your friends and family. Is that really good to help your morale?
Yeah, it's really nice. For sure. But these last days it was so tough. It was kind of hard also to exchange with the with the outside world, because you're kind of in a different reality. Just trying to make it through myself and the boat. But it's always really nice, and I know they were also really concerned with the weather, and everybody is happy that now we're sailing again in decent conditions.
So Juju there, just talking about issues that she's dealing with. Halfway round, there's a certain level of fatigue on the boats, isn't there?
Yeah, you can see Juju. For me, she's a machine. She's super strong, but you can feel and see that she's also, it's normal, she's also tired, but she's doing a great job. She's amazing, like all the girls in the Vendée, I think.
Absolutely. Well, Michel Desjoyeaux always said that the Vendée Globe was one problem every day if you're lucky. And we're starting to see that more and more. And even today, Boris Herrmann, in the same group as Justine, was looking at changing his sails as the wind was changing and had to address some issues as he did it.
A good day. What happened today, we went from the jib top to the bigger J0, and I found a problem on the furler, so I changed the furler. The tack line is attached to the furler and the furling line, so that's a little bit of work to get all that sorted. And took me a few miles and time and energy, but all good. It was a good day all in all. We are nicely matching with the others, and it's fun going east. Only a week to Cape Horn. It's crazy. So every day is precious now. Is the last 7 days in the Southern Ocean, and now we are just driving back and forth along the wind gradient. It gets a bit hectic going south. We're doing a zigzag along here, and each time going south it gets so windy, we drive back out or we change sails. We see how the night pans out.
Well, even further back in the fleet, Oliver here, that's still in the Indian Ocean and approaching towards Cape Lewin. He had some issues as well, and he addressed those today.
I had so far quite a busy day. It's kind of the first day where the wind is dropping a little bit. So it's the last day really where I see 30 knots, and then it starts to drop. But as it is, last night I managed to snap one of my battens. They're big carbon things that are in my mainsail, and I managed to snap the top batten, meaning early morning today, about midnight UTC, I had to drop my mainsail, and I've got 2 spare battens with me, and I had to remove the old one, cut the new one to the right length, and change the batten. This in itself is not a difficult job at all, but I'm still in about 5.5 meter swell, so it was quite, the boat was rolling around quite a lot, and together with the cold and still about 25 knots of wind, I mean, it wasn't that easy, so it took me quite a while to do, but that's all sorted. We're back on track again, and then as I wanted to pull the mainsail up, it's Murphy's Law. My Cunningham line snapped. This line is called the Cunningham, and it kind of gives the front part of the sail vertical tension. Now I do have 2 of them in place in parallel, so I managed to just swap over to the other one, but this has to go onto the job list.
So fatigue of skippers and off boats, but let's look at the conditions they're in. Our front runners, we've got that southerly breeze that they're reaching in. That will stay for another 24 hours before we see them jibe. This group tackling this high pressure, and they're just using that wind that's below the high pressure between them and the ice gate. Then we've got this big transition zone. And this is where Sam's saying she's just picking up these downwind conditions, and poor Roman Attanasio is in absolutely no wind. He needs patience. It's going to take until tomorrow for him to find the breeze. At the back of the fleet, this is the transition that we were talking about. And as everybody descends on this area, they're all going to have to face this transition at some point. That entry into the Pacific Ocean is not an easy one. And then these guys here, Denny van Weinberg and Jin Konju, they're going to have another big depression before they make it to Cape Lewin. So that's going to be one last sting in the tail for the Indian Ocean. Now, somebody that's racing at the front of the fleet in that really tight pack is Nico Lundven, and he was within sight of Thomas Ruon on board Vulnerables last night.
We are in the middle of the South Pacific by 57 degrees south, sailing less than 1 mile from Thomas Ruon. Very close. It's like that since yesterday evening. Sailing conditions are quite nice. The stake is flat. We are sailing downwind with 20 knots of wind speed.
So at the front of the fleet, we've got our front 3, with Charlie Dallin being more dominant. Now his boat's back at 100% after that sail repair. We then have the chasing pack all the way down to Justine Metro, really working hard south of that high pressure. Then we've got Clarice and Sam sailing upwind along with Benjamin Detroit. Roman Attanasio has to be patient and wait for that wind to come to him. Isabel Joschke is leading the charge of the final foiling boats just to the north of the ice gate below Australia. And then Jean Le Cam is leading the charge of the daggerboard boats. And we go right through, Conrad Coleman's in there, and then towards the back of the fleet, Ollie here we just heard from. And at the back, we've got Denny van Weinberg bringing up the rear, who's very happy, and I spoke to him this morning just to see if life was good on board the Dietriens.
It is fantastic to be in the Vendée Globe. That's the goal. But there is some bad moment and some really good moment. But that's life, and that's life on Vendée Globe. Then everything is okay. I have some bad day because I must go in the mast, and in the top of the mast it was not really easy. It's really difficult. It was one of the worst experiences that I made in my life, I think.
Will you be looking forward to saying goodbye to the Indian Ocean?
Yeah, we cross the finger. We know that we can have a lot of surprise also, and I'm sure that Cape Lewin will be a good step for sailing, also for my mindset, because okay, it's long to go. It's a long road to go to the Cape Lewin. I try to take some pleasure in little things like sunshine, like to take one beer sometimes, of some chocolate, something like that, for a good coffee. And
You mentioned your friend Zabi having to finish in Cape Town. Do you feel vulnerable now you're at the back of the fleet?
yeah, not really vulnerable. I think everybody is vulnerable on the Vendée Globe. I don't think about that. I do my job. I try to do my maximum, and for the moment, it's okay. And I keep going, and it's like that.
Really positive from Denny there. Alexia, it's really nice to see that this first experience of the Southern Ocean he's still really happy being there.
Yes, I think in the Vendée Globe you can sail as you are. It's like a race for adventure person or a pure race, or yeah, you can take it the way you want. And Denny is taking it the fastest he can, and he's doing his own race without looking at the others, which is cool.
With a little apéro when it suits him.
Yeah, he's not missing an apéro, so that's important.
It is important, but you're moving on now. The Vendée is behind. New chapter. What's up for you next?
Well, you're with me, as my
Tell the audience.
my co-skipper in the famous project. So with the inspiration that Tracy Edwards gave me many years ago, I want to go with a crew around the world and try to break the record of the Trophée Jules Verne with a 100% woman team. So you will be with me on the boat named Idexport. The time to break is 40 days and 23 hours, but first of all, we want to be the first team of women in the history of sailing, finishing around the world without assistance and without stopover. So we're gonna start this journey around the world in 1 year.
Wow, it's quite soon. It's a busy year ahead then.
We will have a lot of training. No more time for you to play on the TV. You stay with me.
Okay, but we've got a Vendée Globe to finish first. And if we look back at the Vendée Globe now with the performances that we're seeing, a very young but really strong performances, Violette d'Orange. You spoke to her on the French show, but she was really shaken. What happened?
Violette, she was scared today because she almost maybe lost her mast, and she broke a cable who is holding the mast, and so she was, I think, putting maybe too much sails, as she said, and the wind suddenly went really strong, like 50 knots, and it was not on the weather forecast. So a bad surprise for her. I think she didn't break finally too many things. I had this on my Vendée Globe the day, Christmas Day. For Christmas Day, I almost also lose my mast. So I just told her, look, it's normal. This is the Vendée Globe. Maybe it will take you 4 days to be back in the game, but yeah, keep smiling because you are still racing.
So you gave her words of encouragement and words of advice.
Yes, more encouragement than advices, because she's strong.
She's strong. She's having a really good performance. Who else for you has been like the standout performance that you're just like, wow, on a different level?
I'm pretty amazed that all the fleet and the first boat are, I think, ahead the time of Armel Lecléage, so maybe a potential record for this edition of the Vendée Globe. I'm amazed also because there is finally few people, skipper, who quit the race compared to the previous edition. So it means that the preparation of a boat, of a skipper, it's been very good, obviously, and maybe the weather also is for something in this conclusion. But we'll see, and there is a long way to go still. But I think, yeah, big improvement from the fleet, and I can say that again, the women athletes in the fleet are doing great.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we really appreciate you being with us and being on Vendée Live, both French and English. Thank you for your time today.
Merci, Di.
And good luck with what we're about to go and do next year.
Yes.
And thank you for everybody joining me today. I will be back same time, same place tomorrow. And my guest tomorrow will be Damien Foxall and Deborah Pardo. So we're going to talk about mammals, albatross, security, and Damien's experience as a sailor around the world as well. So lots to talk about on Friday. But I am going to leave you at the end of today's show with a beautiful serenade from our very own Roman Antolasio.